from the causal universe, that is singularity, emerge first the subtle universe. From singularity, that huge amount of energy first evolves into a subtle universe. And subtle universe is made of combination of pure state of matter. Go back to that cup of water example. The entire subtle universe is the building blocks are thoughts, and thoughts are made of combination of pure state of matter, and that is humongous. Having understood thoughts are made of combination of pure state of matter, now we are still in the subtle Big Bang, in very early stage. Okay, so natural question is how even a pure state of matter evolved from the causal universe. That will be the next question, right? Again come back to the analysis in this gross world. Same famous formula, E equal mc square. So what does it state? A small fissile material, for example in, I don't know, a nuclear bomb, say it has 10 kg of fissile material. Now this 10 kg of fissile material, when it is detonated, it releases enormous amount of energy, isn't it? That's the whole idea of nuclear bomb. Even in this 10 kg, I don't know, I'm just telling what the amount of mass that will be spent in releasing so much joules of energy is maybe even only 10 grams. Maybe much less. 5 grams, 2 grams of fissile material releases so many thousands of joules of energy, isn't it? So that's what E, energy equivalent, is equal to the mass that releases energy into the mass, so many grams, into velocity of light squared. Velocity of light is 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second, the whole thing squared, into so many kg of fissile material. The kg is few grams. That is the energy. Now, I'm not teaching physics, you all know physics already, but I'm trying to flip the equation. Causal universe holds enormous amount of energy, potential form of matter. That you must agree. Small amount of substance releases large amount of energy. Likewise, a large amount of energy will create matter. First it creates, if this is this concept, this you agree, a huge amount of energy first creates subtle matter. That is the pure state of matter. It comes from the energy of the causal universe. How the causal universe got that much energy? From previous big crunch, from its previous big crunch. So the previous universe had lot of matter, and the entire matter in contact with, I'm not telling how it got into dissolution or big crunch, but I'm only talking the principle. The previous gross universe had so much of matter, and that matter coming in contact with antimatter annihilate themselves, releases all the energy. That entire energy in its potential form is the previous causal universe. And from that previous causal universe, so much of energy stored in the causal universe. The first stage of evolution, the energy released to form the subtle Big Bang. So still we are in the early stage of formation of the 5 fundamental states of matter. I am only explaining the logic behind how the matter comes from energy. With this you can, that's what they are trying to do in the Large Hadron Collider, throwing so much of energy to create a tiny speck of matter. If you all can understand this pure state of matter water example, then you have lot of complex equations. Perhaps you will, I'm coming to that later, perhaps you can fit into your theory and you can bring that grand unified theory of everything that you want to do. Everything in our discussion, it has to be theory of everything and every beings. Grand unified theory of everything and every being. Perhaps if somebody is smart enough, they can take clue from this and then they can derive their own equations. Anyway, that apart, this you agree, this E equal to mc square, small amount of substance releases large amount of energy. Likewise, a large amount of energy will have the capacity to produce matter. That is why from the state of singularity, first will emerge is the pure state of matter. Fine. In that first emergence will be what? Pure space. Space is a matter because it is emerging from nothing, in your observation nothing. From the causal space it emerged into that first pure space. Now here also, many years ago, space was not considered as matter, but later with the advent of astrophysics and quantum physics, a lot of scientists, this curved space, bent space, gravitational lensing because of the gravity exerted by space. So I'm not getting into the science aspect of it, but I'm only trying to prove a point. Space is a positive material. So with this understanding, let's get into the Big Bang, the subtle Big Bang. So from the causal universe, what first emerges is pure space. First, pure space emerges from the causal universe. Pure space, from pure space, pure air emerges. Then pure fire, plasma, emerges. Then pure water, liquid, emerges. Then pure earth or pure solid state emerges. When I say pure emerges, pure state of matter emerges, remember, we are in the subtle universe stage or subtle body stage. In other words, thought, formation of thought we are discussing. So how it forms, I already told, the energy is there, that energy has the energy from the causal universe has the potency to convert into matter. And if you want to bring in speed of light, thoughts are faster than speed of light, so you can imagine the causal energy will be much more faster. Fine, and quantum is also humongous. Now, pure space, when it first emerges, it has only one property. It has the property of sound, because we all know sound travels through space. So the property as a concept, because even pure space, we are talking about thought level. So conceptually, when space is born, along with that, it holds the property of sound. Then next, what? Pure air. Pure air has two properties. What will be the two property? It has the property of sound, in other words, parental property. Say it emerges, the pure state of air emerges from pure space. So it has the parental property of sound. Along with that, it has the property of touch, sensation. So pure air has two properties. What is the third pure state of matter? Third pure state of matter will be plasma or fire. Fire will have three properties. Three properties what? Sound, you can hear plasma or fire. Of course, you can touch fire or feel fire. Third, fire can be seen. It has the property of vision, property of seeing. Then emerges water or liquid. It has, water liquid has the 3 parental property. What are the 3 parental property? Property of plasma is what? Sound, touch, seeing, and water has its own unique property is the taste. So every pure state of, likewise next let me complete. Pure state of earth will have its previous parental property of all 4 senses along with smelling. Only a solid state earth you can smell. Water doesn't have smell, it has taste. So each pure state of matter has its own unique property and parental property. For space, the parental property is the causal universe, pure space. The next, the pure air has the parental property of sound and its own unique property of air. Likewise, I have told all the 5. So you keep this aside. Also, we earlier discussed each pure state of matter has the 3 strands in it. What are the 3 strands? Knowing principle, knowing component, acting component, and resting or inertia component. I will repeat. Pure space have all 3, pure air have all 3, pure liquid have all 3, pure plasma have all 3, pure earth have all 3. Knowledge, I am repeating so that it will help you when we going to discuss further in the further evolution of subtle universe and from there the evolution of gross universe. So all the 5 pure state of matter each have all 3 components. Now we will analyze how the subtle body of an individual is created. The subtle body is what? We have already told. The 5 organs of perception, organs, not the fleshy organs, the subtle organs of perception, the 5 subtle organs of action, and the 5 energy centers, 5 energy centers we studied earlier. Now you will have to go back to human composition, and the mind, gross intellect, subtle intellect, memory, ego. These 20 components put together forms the subtle body. Now we will analyze how the first 5 subtle organs are created. What are the 5 subtle organs? First 5 subtle organs are organs of knowledge, or the 5 power centers of perception that we discussed earlier. That capacity to hear, the capacity to feel, the power center for skin. Then the capacity to see, the power center for the eye, the power behind eye. Likewise, the power behind taste, tongue. Then the power behind nose, smell. Okay. Now you already know where I am getting into. How first the subtle organ of ear is created. Using what? These 5, before that, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention one point. These 5 organs are what? The 5 sense organs are, you can call organs of knowledge. Because in the gross observable universe, you use these 5 power centers of perceptions or 5 sense organs to gain knowledge of the world, right? Now bring that behind. We also know all the 5 elements have the knowledge component in it. So take the knowledge component of all the 5. From the pure space, the power center of ear gets created first. Then from the pure space, they won't take only the knowledge component in it. Then the pure air, from the pure air, take the knowledge component. From that, the sense organ of skin is created. Conceptually, concept of touch, because I have already told the properties that they hold. Next, how the power center of eyes created, the sense organ of eyes are created using the pure state of fire. The knowledge component of pure state of fire creates the eyes. Then the knowledge component of water creates tongue. Tongue means not the fleshy organ. The power center of taste is created. Then finally, from the knowledge component of earth, nose created, the capacity to smell. When I say nose, eyes, ear, I am not talking about the fleshy organs, I am talking about the power behind that respective knowledge center or sense centers of perception. So with this, the 5 individual organs of knowledge created using the knowledge component of pure states of matter. Fine, you will have to repeat this video again 2-3 times to have a grasp of the whole thing. So with this, now out of the 20 aspects of subtle body, 5 aspects are already generated from the pure state of matter. Now, if you all observe, whatever the eyes see, the ears don't know. Whatever the ears hear, the eyes will not be able to know. When I say eye, means the power behind the eyes. So each power center has its own designated function. Now there must be a coordinator. So that coordinator must know what the eyes are doing, ears are doing, the skin doing, what the nose is doing, what the tongue is doing. So these 5 organs of knowledge through which you gain knowledge of the world, the main coordinator is what? The mind and intellect, and along with that memory, ego. So there are 5 other components of the subtle body, that is what? Your mind, gross intellect, subtle intellect, memory, ego. These 5 uses all the knowledge component of all the 5 pure states of matter. Combination of all the 5 knowledge, combination of the knowledge component of all the 5 pure states of matter forms your mind, gross intellect, subtle intellect, memory, ego. These 5 aspects. So together 10 aspects of creation we have discussed, 10 aspects of the subtle body, formation of the subtle body or evolution of the subtle body from what? From pure state of matter. The pure state of matter emerges from where? From the causal universe. How the causal universe can create a pure state of matter? Because of the energy it holds. How the energy? From previous annihilation. E equal to mc square, flip it. Therefore friends, Big Bang started, the subtle universe start to form halfway through the Big Bang. Next in line of formation is the organs of action of the subtle body. What are the organs of action that we know? Speech, hands, legs, anus and reproductive organ. These are the 5 organs of action in a human being. Now we are still in the subtle realm. We are talking about the power behind these 5 organs of action. Now most of you will know where I am getting into. The 5 pure states of matter. All the 5 pure states of matter has what? 3 components in it. Knowledge component, acting component, inertia component. Fine. Knowledge components already utilized for what? For the evolution of the 5 organs of knowledge and the mind and gross intellect, subtle intellect, memory, ego. That's the knowledge component is utilized. The second strand is acting strand. Acting strand embedded in the pure state of matter. So from the acting component of space, air, fire, water and earth, the subtle organs of speech is born, hands are born, legs are born, anus, excretory organ and the reproductive organ are formed from the acting component of space, air, fire, water and earth. And these, when I say acting component, these 5 organs of action, as I said, we are still in the subtle realm, the power behind, the power center of action. These 5 are born. Now because they are power centers of action and this action needs energy, and we earlier talked about the 5 energy centers, that is inhalation, exhalation, digestion, distribution and reversal system. These 5 components, this will be from same combination. This will be these 5 energy centers will be formed by the combination of acting components of the 5 pure states of matter. I repeat, the 5 pure states of matter will have acting component. From the individual acting component, the individual organs are born, the 5 organs of action. From the collective acting component, from the combination of all the 5 pure states of matter, the acting component of the pure states of matter, the 5 energy centers are formed. What are the 5 energy centers? The power behind inhalation, the power behind exhalation, the power behind digestion, the power behind distribution, and the reversal power. So now another 10 components of the subtle body is evolved or created. So together 20 subtle organs are evolved for whom? Human beings. For human beings, 20 subtle organs. For animals, people will argue and vary, but we will give the best quantum of subtle components for animal. That would amount to 17 in my opinion. In the sense, animals don't have ego. Animals don't have gross intellect or subtle intellect. So from the 20 aspects of the subtle body, remove these 3. The rest all animals will have. Some might argue small animals won't have this, but give the maximum, or you can give a gradation. We are not going in-depth analysis of how much subtle components an animal has, but use the same principle we are discussing about creation, manifestation or evolution of subtle body. For animals, in my opinion, it is 17. For plants, they have a perception, but you can amalgamate all the perception to one unit of subtle body, one aspect. Then plants do act in terms of photosynthesis and absorption and all those things. So you give one component of subtle action to a plant, and plants do. For plants being alive, you give one aspect to it. So just arbitrary, I'm saying. I'm not saying it's accurate. You can give 3 components of subtle body to plant. Then evolution of, what about the inert matter? What happens? Does the inert matter have subtle body? No, they don't have subtle body. I think I explained earlier in the video series. All the entire inert objects will have its subtle inertia power as a single unit component. You can call it a subtle aspect to the inert objects. You won't say subtle body, a subtle aspect for its existence, for a subtle aspect for it to hold that power of inertia. So that concept is born from where? The causal universe. So the entire, now this is as regards to one individual as a human being, 20 subtle components are born. Now extend it, extrapolate to the entire human beings of planet Earth and other human beings if they are out there. Next, same, extend it to all animals, extend it to all plants, extend it to all inertia power of the entire observable universe. All put together forms the subtle universe. I hope until this point it's clear. So from the causal universe, that is singularity, emerge first the subtle universe. From singularity, that huge amount of energy first evolves into a subtle universe. And subtle universe is made of combination of pure state of matter. Go back to that cup of water example. The entire subtle universe is, the building blocks are thoughts, and thoughts are made of combination of pure state of matter, and that is humongous, right? Now this is what you need to know. Thoughts are faster than speed of light. Okay, so you keep that all in mind. So until this point, the first stage of creation is completed, or the 20 stages or components of creation is completed, or the evolution of subtle universe is completed. From here, we will now analyze how from the subtle universe the gross universe emerges. That's the hot topic that's going on everywhere. Now the subtle universe is formed. After the subtle universe is formed or evolved or created or manifested, what happens? Will it remain as it is? If the subtle body alone moves, some people call it as ghost. So the entire subtle universe, after it is formed, it will be a universal ghost. It won't continue to stay there. The next is the actual Big Bang will happen. That is the Big Bang that our astrophysicists and scientists and quantum physicists are banging their head who banged the Big Bang. Fine. Now, up until the point, I hope you all understand, the subtle universe formed. Subtle universe is formed by what? Combination of the pure state of matter using the knowledge component and the acting component of the 5. Now you know where I am getting to. What is left in the pure state of matter? The inertia component, inert component. The inert component in all the 5 pure states of matter, fundamental states of matter, will be utilized for the creation of the gross space. The combination will form this particular gross universe. And this is the main topic, that Big Bang, who created this universe, when did the world evolve. So this is the particular mind-boggling questions all the thinkers are having. They are having only up to this point. No one is bothered about, is there anything? First of all, many of them won't know there is something called subtle body. They know it's mind, intellect, very few know. Very few know there exists a subtle body, and the rarest know there is something can be called as a subtle universe. Now come back to the example of water that I showed earlier. The water that I showed was gross water. What it had? It had water in it predominantly. Along with that predominance, what all it held? It occupied space. It had a temperature, whether it is minus temperature or plus temperature, the concept of temperature is in it. It holds a temperature, it holds trace elements, it holds a gaseous state in it. So likewise, now we will understand how the 5 gross fundamental states of matter will be formed immediately after Big Bang. So immediately after the gross Big Bang, first would emerge is the gross space. How the gross space would emerge from the subtle universe? Same principle. You have this, how mass is created. Now gross space is positive substance. So the energy is coming from the subtle universe. Go back to this, energy equal to mass into square of velocity of light. So the subtle universe has so much of energy. So from the pure states of matter, it utilizes the inert component to first form the gross space. The space that you are seeing, that is formed first. And that space is not space alone. It holds space as predominant, plus it will hold 12, say for example, just the whole universe as a steady state of matter, steady state, it will hold 50% space and 12.5% of rest of the states of matter will combine to form the gross space. Same, I just gave the water example, then you will be able to understand what I am trying to get. Water, the same 100 ml water that I showed to you before, that water is only 50% is actual pure water, pure state of water. It occupied space, it was holding temperature, it was holding some gas component in it, and it was having some trace elements in it as a concept of trace element or concept of solid in it. So what you can conclude is, in the total universe, all the water content holds 50% water, 12.5% space, 12.5% air component in it, 12.5% temperature component in it, 12.5% solid component in it. So this is called this is the actual water that you see in the total universe. Now you are able to visualize. Likewise, that's why I say the total space that you see is 50% space and 12.5% of rest of the 4 states of matter. Likewise, you distribute to rest of the 3 states of matter. Now, when this is the formation of the 5 fundamental gross state of matter, inert state of matter, using what? The inert component from the pure state of matter. I hope until this point you agree. After the 5 gross fundamental states of matter is formed, then what happened? Then what all that you see, these inert objects in the world, inert objects are what? All your gross physical body, all the tangible, when water mixed with space, it becomes tangible. When it holds a temperature, it becomes sensible to touch. When you drink, it has taste. So then we say it becomes gross water. So all the gross physical body, all the inert objects of the world are all formed by the combination of the inert aspect of the pure state of matter. So with this, the formation of the initial formation or the current state of the gross universe is complete. From Big Bang, in fact, this is the most easiest to understand. Moment the gross matter, once I explain, moment the gross matter is formed, then the rest of it is cakewalk. All the gross matter, even the fleshy organs are made of gross matter. What are the gross matter made of? The combination of the 5 states of matter. And as I said, the state of matter can be different, but these are in between state of matter, between these 5 fundamental states of matter. Okay. So with this, from Big Bang, the creation of the gross universe is completed. But the most toughest part, I am sure, the evolution or the manifestation of the subtle universe. Some concluding remarks, particularly with the scientific community, people are struggling to understand dark matter and dark energy. So this dark matter, dark energy is something that scientists are struggling to vouch for the rotation of galaxy. So they say there is a contribution by dark matter. So the entire observed matter in the universe is only 5%, and say 25%, they say it's dark matter, and 25 plus 5, approximately 70% is dark energy. I am not sure on what basis it's been calculated, but I am not a physicist or I am not a scientist, but I have explained there is a causal universe which holds huge amount of energy, and from that emerges a subtle universe, and subtle universe also holds a subtle form of matter, and from that emerges this gross physical universe. Now I don't know where you want to fit the dark matter or dark energy. I don't know, perhaps it's just an idea. Perhaps you can fit dark matter to the entire subtle matter, that is the subtle universe. Subtle universe is huge when compared to the gross universe. The causal universe already is being expressed as subtle universe and gross universe. So you can equate the dark matter and dark energy to the entirely to the subtle universe as such. But then all you can now know is the universe did not begin from nothing. So much of matter cannot come from nothing, that much you know. So it has to come from something unmanifest. That unmanifest is the causal universe. So this causal universe to subtle universe to gross universe. And this gross universe, again, after annihilation, what happens? After big crunch, go into subtle universe and causal universe. Causal universe, subtle universe, gross universe. Annihilation goes back to subtle universe and causal universe. So this endless cycle continues. And don't forget, in this whole discussion, I just brought in consciousness here and there. Consciousness is something non-material in nature that pervades the entire causal universe, that pervades the entire subtle universe, that pervades the entire gross universe. So with this, the analysis of creation is completed. I am sure you will have lots and lots of doubt because too much of data is given to you. And because of limitation in terms of English, some of the concept I've tried to communicate to whatever extent that you understand. I'm sure if you apply your intellect, you will be able to understand what I tried to communicate in the past, I think 1 hour plus discussion. I'm sure this whole, this particular creation topic will be split into 20-30 minutes video section, so that you listen to some and take a break, and then listen to it, take a break. Again, you can listen to 3-4 times, because particularly this one aspect, if you are able to understand, thoughts are made of combination of pure states of matter. I'm repeating it. If you can understand, if you get conviction on this statement, then I think if somebody is serious, they would be able to derive a lot of formula and present a grand unified theory of everything and every being. And it's a very, very, very good chance whoever does it will be able to get Nobel Prize. Any prize, Nobel Prize is, even if you get Nobel Prize, it's not worth it. You are worth much, much more if you are able to explain grand universe, this grand unified theory of everything. Fine, all the best.